Burn Line Podcast. The burn line on a well-crafted cigar is straight and sharp as a razor, much like our wit and wisdom. And what is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, over the age of 21. You are listening to Burn Line Podcast, coming to you not live from the Hot Box, the smoky back room where deals and struck and fortunes are made. And actually, this Hot Box is a traditional Irish pub. So, thanks for joining us. Traditional Irish pub. And this is Kiss Me I'm Fucking Irish episode. So, we have one every year. And this year, we are smoking the new Shamrock Filthy Hooligan from Alec Bradley. This is an annual release. And triple barber pole. Right, so it's got Candela, natural, and sun-grown. I don't know what that is, but brown, dark brown, and green. So there you go. And we're also going to talk about St. Patrick. It's St. Patrick's Day.
That guy.
So happy St. Patrick's Day from Johnny Midas and
El Fumo.
And, of course, we always look at the cigar before we cut and light it. And I'm going to take my Johnny Midas glasses off. Officially licensed Johnny Midas Versace sunglasses to give it a fair shot. But I like the wrapper leaves. I like this triple barber pole. It's not great. It's hard to do a barber pole anyway.
Yeah.
You got lots of little bubbles and
it's a triple wrap, so that's a lot of leaf.
Well, I mean, it's not.
No, but
each leaf doesn't cover the whole cigar. They just overlap. But yeah, like I've got wrapper leaf separating and imperfections and stuff. But Candela, for this price, And what does this retail for at Davis Cigars?
$10.50
and Westminster? $10.50. So there you go. I can't wait to take this band off because it looks like it's going to be awesome.
It is pretty cool.
But anyway, good cigar to look at, and let's see how it smokes. For the price, I usually enjoy these, so I hope that
these are great, man.
And of course, manufactured by Alec Bradley. So why don't we go ahead and do our official cutting, brought to you by Lord Baltimore Distributors. The official cutting is brought to you by Lord Baltimore Distributors, featuring proprietary blends available nowhere else. Lord Baltimore Distributors are meticulously crafted boutique cigars made in small batches for every palate. Lord Baltimore Distributors, when only the best will do.
All right.
And as always, we remind you to clip that cigar with authority. No limp-wristed cutting allowed. And we are in the habit of gently tapping that cigar against back of our hand. I use the meat behind the thumb. A lot of people use the knuckle. My knuckles are probably not great for that. They're a little sharp.
Yeah, you might pop a vein. Not your hand, but
I mean, they're harder, but it's not the right surface area. I just use this. I mean, you can see all that shit coming out from cutting it.
My end's a little loose. Not for me, but I'm just saying that.
Yeah, I've got a couple of those.
Damn. I hope it holds, but we'll see.
We're about to find out. As soon as we get these lit, the official lighting brought to you by 2C Premium Coffee. The official lighting is brought to you by 2C Premium Coffee. Keep your day fueled with delicious coffee from 2C Premium Coffee. Featuring select beans from Bali, Kenya, Ethiopia, and around the world, 2C Premium utilizes continual roasting, so you are always getting a truly fresh cup of premium coffee. 2C Premium Coffee, morning made us. And as always, we remind you, toasted, not roasted. Treat that cigar with the love and respect it deserves, and it will return the flavor. And you can see that I am using my electrician's butane torch, which we talked about in a previous episode. Super precise. I don't have to suck any flame into the barrel of the cigar. This can truly toast a cigar. It's just not super portable.
Yeah.
It's super precise.
That's like your back porch kind of lighter.
Yeah, or
At home.
or bench lighter.
Yeah.
You know, if you have a locker, which you can get lockers at Davidas and other places.
Yeah.
This is a great torch to keep in your locker because it will give you a super precise light.
Yeah. It's great for parties.
Yeah, if you lose your locker or someone breaks into it or something, it's like 12. Well, it's probably $15.
Damn, who's gonna be breaking into your locker though?
All right, enough fucking around. You bampop bowbag.
Yeah.
So, all right, we've got. By the way, that was a good light. I mean, mine was. I wasn't talking about yours. No, yours is good too. But
I was like, wait, what the fuck?
it burns pretty well, which I've found to actually be a hallmark of a lot of Alec Bradley's.
Yeah.
They do burn well. Like, they're not too tightly packed. I think that the leaves are lower primings, and that allows them to have really good burn.
Yeah.
These aren't designed to be flavor bombs. You know, you don't have second or I'm sorry, eighth, level primings that have been aged for 18 years and then oscuro process. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they tend to burn really well.
Yeah. The biggest thing also with Candela, I don't think Alec Bradley has their own Candela. They've got to be sourcing that from somebody. And that's for most anybody who sells a Candela cigar, because I doubt they have a Candela like dedicated plot. Except for Arturo Fuente, obviously.
Yeah, I don't think that these are super aged, which means these are this may be the first Alec Bradley Hooligan, or Filthy Hooligan, post General Takeover, right?
Yeah.
I think last year they were still produced by Alec Bradley, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we talked about that. Mm-hmm. I just don't remember. It's been a year.
Well, I don't even know how that's going, like, actually physically on the ground. I don't know how that's going.
Right.
Like, sure, General bought them, but what changed? Like,
Yeah.
the website where retailers order them from, probably that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, because their distribution network's completely different. But I'm sure they changed something on the ground as well. Like, who doesn't change something?
Eventually they will.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have yet, because it's been, what, a year and a half, 2 years now?
Yeah, something like that.
For example, these might have been rolled and waiting for the wrapper when General stepped in.
Yeah.
Right? Not these. They can't be that old, I don't think. But
Yeah.
last year, that could have been the timing. Who knows? But I don't think General's like, blow the whistle at the factory. We are starting over.
Yeah.
So they probably haven't touched anything yet on the physical side yet. They've probably done their walkthrough and due diligence and everything. So
Yeah, I don't have to reinvent the wheel. It was already there.
yeah, you got your factory and your rollers, which are in high demand. And
Oh, yeah.
everyone was concerned, though, that General was going to basically, how would you say that?
Clean house.
No. Take the rollers and put them in another factory and close that factory down.
Gotcha.
Right.
That wouldn't be smart anyway, not in this industry.
Well, they might not have a choice. There are not a lot of rollers left.
That's what I'm saying.
You go to Nicaragua and maybe some other places. They have schools for rollers on purpose. But it's kind of like we have schools for truck drivers. We still can't get them.
Nope.
So there's a lot of things that come together there.
Yeah.
It might be time for a wage hike, but it's like when oil prices go up, OPEC does great, and other people go out of business.
Yeah.
For the Americans, it's the other way around. When the price of oil gets too low, they can't afford to produce oil.
Yeah.
Right? We want oil over a certain price per barrel, so our companies can drill American oil and compete, right? So with the rollers, it's kind of a similar situation where if you're making kind of the other way around, if you're making high end, if you're making expensive cigars, you can afford to pay rollers more easily. But if you're trying to make the $8 sticks that we look for, the real value sticks, the HVC hotcake and stuff, once wages go up, that starts to really affect it. you know.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so some initial tasting notes. And by the way, I am drinking the African espresso shot from 2C Premium, and you are as well, but mine's actually run through an espresso machine.
Yep. I'm getting like a cedar note out of this.
Mm-hmm.
Like a sharp cedar. And something sweet right at the end of the exhale through the nostrils.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cedar is really heavy on this one. I would call it cedar.
I think that's the main note I'm getting at the moment.
It definitely is. Yeah, there's definitely a little bit of sweet kind of on the front of the palate.
Yeah.
If you retrohale as it's like just leaving the tip of your nose, you get a little backdraft of sweet. And then there's a sharp note in there, but it's just not, it's not spicy at all. Mm-hmm. It's not peppery at all. It's just sharp. There might be a little whiff of like Christmas tree in there.
Yeah.
And then what do you think about adding a little bit of nuttiness?
See, I was thinking that earlier, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like, it's like walking through a store, right? Old-fashioned general store.
Mm-hmm.
And over in the corner, they've got last year's Christmas tree, and they've got like jars of nuts right here. Mm-hmm. And you're licking a cedar branch while walking through the store. That's kind of what it, tastes like. It's really interesting though, because this is like a, what would you say, 3 in strength, 4 in strength?
3. Man, this is weak. not taking a dig, just
no, it just is.
Yeah, it's just weak.
So like 3 for strength, and then for flavor,
simple.
It's simple mid, we'll say.
Okay.
Because we're getting more than 1 or 2 flavors in there, and then we'll kind of see where it goes from there. So right now, this feels like, you remember that what was it called, Green Street Hooligans?
No.
The soccer movie.
No, actually, I never saw that.
I think Elijah Wood was in it, if you were one of those hooligans and Great Britain wasn't, satanically communist, where you can't really smoke cigars anywhere, I think that this is what you'd be smoking.
Yeah.
Like it's affordable, it's not too heavy, not too, like you can fucking walk down the street in your hoodie puffing on this.
Yeah.
If you don't live in Great Britain.
Hey, they're strongly, proudly outdoors. Democratic country as they're arresting their own citizens for shitposting on Facebook.
Yeah. That's the duly elected
king.
Aristocracy is back.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Those motherfuckers. There's a reason we kicked your ass.
Dude, next year is 250 years, baby.
I know. It's
How
gonna
fucking great is that?
Well, I mean, what are you counting from?
1776.
Yeah. So
it's 250 next year.
If you're counting from 1776, yep.
Yeah, which our actual independence was what, 1782?
I was going to say 83, but yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think because 1976
was 200.
Yeah, it was the 200, and that's when the government celebrated. Who knows with this government?
Yeah.
We can't afford to celebrate. We don't have the money to.
It better be fucking grand with the guy in office. Are you fucking kidding me?
They will fucking spend money on that.
Bro, we'll do something.
We're gonna cut like the entire department of what do you call that? Our ambassador to Zimbabwe. Mm-hmm. You're done. Yeah. We're gonna use that money for a big parade.
Yeah. Well, we'll celebrate by launching a nuke somewhere. I don't know.
Oh Jesus.
That's our firework. We're just like, hey, it's been 50 years. We haven't launched.
All right, on this very non-political cigar show, we are smoking the Shamrock Filthy Hooligan from Alec Bradley, an annual release. And, of course, this is the 2025 release. And we smoked the Filthy Hooligan last year.
Last year, yes, sir. Well. I think that's the more popular one. I kind of like that one better anyway.
I like the Filthy Hooligan better, but I can't remember why. I think I thought the Shamrock was just a little bitter and a little simple.
I mean, they're almost the same, but the Hooligan is just better, honestly. And they're about the same price. I think the flavors, I'm more of a Hooligan.
Weren't they like $5 or $5 something?
Yeah, dude.
When they came out?
Yeah, way back in the day.
Which they're not that old of a product line, but when they did come out, like...
Make cigars affordable again.
Yeah. So that's what we're smoking, and I think that we will do socials and surprises, and we'll take a break.
All right.
Come back and do our tobacconist tip of the week. So for socials this week, as usual, please like, subscribe, share, comment, give us a nice 5-star review. Whatever it takes to spread the word. If you think that we are adding value to the cigar industry, we would appreciate it if you would spread the word by doing those things for us. It's very hard to promote this show because of the content. Yes, we are inhaling burning tobacco smoke. Combusted material, and that is kind of like a strict social faux pas these days.
You know what's weird? We can combust other countries, but we can't combust cigars.
Okay.
But weird. I had to.
We can't fucking combust a potato.
Hey, these motherfuckers are combusting cars. I don't want to... Yeah.
So, appreciate everybody that is on board with Burnline Podcast. And we've got a few surprises for you. And Angel...
Yeah.
I think you got something for us.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll have to make it work. What's in the box?
What's in the box? What's in the box?
So there's a story to this, or a forgotten history aspect to St. Patrick's Day. So if you're going to ask why I got this brand
Modelo
Negra instead of a Guinness. So... in case you didn't know, there was a history between Mexico and Ireland.
Yeah, tell us about the Mexican-Irish connection. Because
so, besides that, we all fucking drink like there's no tomorrow. Well, anyways, during the Mexican-American War, there was a battalion called the St. Patrickos that were Irish folk that fought alongside the Mexicans to fight the Americans at Texas. Because a lot of the Irish, as you know, were Catholic, and the Americans were shitting on those Catholic Irish soldiers for being Catholics. You know, they're like, well, fuck this. We're going over there. They like to drink too. So, you know, and the official name of the brigade is the St. Patrickos. So that's the Mexican-Irish connection.
Say St. Patrickos in a Spanish accent.
Los San Patricos.
St. Patrickos.
Yeah, the San Patrick. Oh,
so
shit.
That's
in Irish and Mex. Fuck. San Patricos. I don't know, dude. That would sound interesting.
St. Patrickos.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what they sounded like.
Yeah. Cheers.
Slancha.
Salud. Plus, I think drinking Guinness out of a can is sacrilegious.
Yeah, we could have gone a lot of ways. We could have gone with the dyed green Bud Light.
Yeah. Oh, no, I'm good.
We could have gone with Guinness, but this is a good choice. And connecting that history for everybody out there. Great. And I think it is time to take a break. And when we come back,
let's do our tip of the week.
We will do our tobacconist tip of the week. Keep your dial locked in to Burnline Podcast. And now your tobacconist tip of the week with Angel Solorio.
All right, our tobacco sip of the week. Since we're smoking a limited cigar and maybe collectible, depends, who cares. Any cigar's collectible, honestly.
Yeah.
It's collectible to you. Well, anyways, to make it easier for you, since if you're not smoking your cigars, I would highly suggest, having a single tray humidor, so that way it's easier to rotate your collection around, because you can't just leave your cigar chilling in the humidor, especially if it's a collectible.
Right. Yeah, you have to rotate them, right?
Fuck Opus X alone, you got a couple $100 worth of that. That'll be a dick. I didn't want to say the actual. Yeah.
Try 20,000.
Yeah. So the thousands of dollars of your Opus X collection, like shit, man, that would suck if you open it one day and they're just like ass.
Right. So they make humidors that are, like that, desktop, or even taller ones.
Yeah.
And just put a single layer per tray, and when you're refilling it, I have a one that's about that tall, and it's electric, and it automatically humidifies and chills, keeps the temperature correct. And I have all of my collectible cigars in there in a single row per tray, and I just rotate the trays.
Yeah, don't double stack.
Top goes to the bottom goes to the
You leave some room in between the cigars too?
Yeah, in fact, I've got these cedar strips. They came with one of my humidors. They're cedar strips that are about 2 millimeters thick, and they were die cut out of cedar in the shape of like a saber.
Nice.
And this one humidor I bought just came with like 100 of them, and I use those in between the cigars to keep them from touching each other or rolling. So you got some airflow, but yes, you do need to rotate those because the humidification, especially in an electronic one, comes from one spot.
Right.
And kind of goes up.
Yeah, you're going to spongify the fuck out of the bottom ones, and then the top ones. Not that they're going to be fucked up, but they won't be as well.
Or if you've got the style that goes from the bottom up a pipe and then drops down, now the top ones are just fucking absorbing everything, and your bottom ones are dry. And, yeah,
you just don't want to spongify your fucking cigar, so.
Yeah, that's a great tip because, when you have multiple cigars in a tray, you not only have to rotate the trays, you have to rotate the cigars. Right? Like the ones on top have to be on the bottom. So that's an awesome time-saving tip. Appreciate that.
Yep.
And, of course, kiss me or fuck me, I'm Irish. Let's talk about St. Patrick.
All right.
That's why we have St. Patrick Day.
Yeah, that's why there's no snakes in Ireland.
Oh, by the way, I read this, official,
why there's no snakes?
No, historical account of St. Patrick. And they're like, because the Irish have a long history of oral tradition, the idea of embellishing stories is a natural activity for the dumb fucking Irish peasants. And so, of course, they made up stories like, St. Patrick banishing the snakes from Ireland because, of course he didn't do that. I'm like, but how do you know?
Yeah.
Like, how do you know? Right? How many snakes are there in Ireland?
Apparently none.
Well, there's a few now.
Yeah.
But they were, brought over.
Yeah.
How do you know he didn't banish them? You don't.
Right.
So shut up. Let me enjoy my little St. Patrick story. All right, so here's some St. Patrick stuff. First of all, St. Patrick is Irish. True or false?
False.
False. Where was he born?
Britain.
Yes, he was born in Rome.
In Britain. That's
Britain.
right.
So if you remember, the Romans invaded Great Britain, like they did pretty much until they got to a point where this is fucking boring. There's nothing to steal, right?
Yeah. They were the first English empire.
Yeah, although that's not what happened in Great Britain. What happened there was they invaded Britain and then they went north and they got to Scotland, where they built Hadrian's Wall to keep the locals out. Literally.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Stay over there. We don't even want
the
you.
Highlanders were like, I'll fucking eat your face. Oh, they're not Irish. They're Scottish.
I don't know how to do it.
I'll eat your fucking face.
Yeah, there you go.
So Roman Britannia was like south, you know, and then north was like pagan land. And he was born, like, we don't know the exact year, but probably between 390 and 400 AD.
Yeah, mid-5th century,
which is
4th century, something like that.
Yeah, like, that's so close to, like, Christianity becoming official. You know, this is, like, brand new stuff.
Right.
And because I'll forget later, he's believed to have died on March 17th, hence St. Patrick's Day, around 460. So he was between 55 and 70 years old, probably, when he passed, which was a pretty good age back then. So he was wealthy.
Yeah.
And he lived on an estate, and his father was a Christian deacon. Now, the evidence suggests that the family was not super religious. Now, they could have been super religious in the sense of they said prayers 20 times a day, and we'd never know because they're all dead.
Yeah.
But the estate, for example, there's not like a bunch of Christian icons. Back then, they used to have a special, like, prayer altar in the home, especially wealthy homes. They'd have a special room for that. They would even host, like, church services in their homes.
Yeah.
That was just a cultural thing. But religious officials got a tax exemption. And the belief is that his dad was a deacon because I don't have to pay taxes.
Right.
You know? So, yeah, that's where he comes from. And then he was abducted by pirates. Now, you hear that story all the time, right? But we don't usually hear, like, what actually happened, right? So what actually happened was these pirates were kind of more like Viking style, where they would sail around in boats and just charge in and try to steal stuff. And being an estate, the St. Patrick's family, whatever his last name was, you know, they were kind of a target, and they raided the estate, and they took everything they could, including Patrick.
Right.
Now, he was 16, so he was probably trying to either fight or, like, you know, shepherd livestock or something like that. The kind of assumption among historians is that he was probably trying to round up livestock because when he got captured by the pirates, he was put in charge of the livestock they were caring for.
Yeah.
So it sounds like they probably got the sheep and the Patrick.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like, hey, we got double.
Yeah, we got
two for the price of one.
A worker and his sheep. Come on. Now, he was in Ireland for 6 years in captivity, which would put him at 22. The more historic story is that he was taken to live in Mount Slemish in County Antrim, and if you go to Ireland, there's some, like, plaques and stuff. However, like, serious historians believe he was held in County Mayo near Killala. Who cares? So he worked as a shepherd. He was also outdoors. He was away from people, you know, like he was out in the field, like a traditional Irish shepherd. Probably lived in a grass, you know, they do a dugout home, you know, dugout home with a grass roof and everything, grass walls.
Kind of like for those having trouble to imagine, Lord of the Rings, you know, like the Shire.
Yeah, just not as nice inside.
All right.
You know.
Sod homes, that's what it was, sod.
We used to have those in the U.S. when people moved west. You know, if you got enough money and time, you might build a wood home, but until then,
right,
sod, bubba. So the story is, and you know, there's writing to support this, that he turned to his faith because he was lonely and afraid.
Yeah,
you know, could be. It's a little hard to translate, I think, because turn into or turn to is kind of the same word in the Latin writings. And so he could be saying, I already had faith, and I just got serious about it. Or he could be saying, you know, like, I decided to practice this faith, you know, that maybe I knew from my parents, but it was never mine, right? So not sure about that, but he writes that a voice which he believed to be gods spoke to him and said, it's time to leave Ireland. So he did, and all he did was walk away. Like, they captured him, they put him out in the middle of nowhere with these sheep. Mm-hmm. It's not like they were guarding him. He was shackled. He was a prisoner. He was kind of alone, and then he just walked off. Yeah. Bye, y'all. So he walked to the coast and made it back to England. And there's not really a lot of literature. He doesn't write about what he did there, right? So he writes that he got back to Britain and experienced a second revelation from an angel in a dream telling him to return to Ireland as a missionary. So he began religious training, and that was 15 years. So all we know about really from Patrick's writings is that he spent 15 years in Britain training to be a missionary. Really, the way that the literature is sort of read is typically like, I got back to Ireland and like within a week, or I got back to Britain from Ireland and within a week, like I had this dream. So at this point he would be 37, but we don't know actually. He could have been in Britain for 3 years before he had this dream. We don't know. He doesn't tell us. He wasn't really writing like to, chronologize his life and time, right? But it was a long course of study, and so after that, he was sent to Ireland with a mission from the Catholic Church. So here's what's really interesting. Like, we have these writings, and it is to minister to Christians already living in Ireland and to convert the Irish. So there's a couple of ways you can read that. One is he can minister to like the 2 or 3 priests that are already over there and begin converting, in which case the story of Patrick converting Ireland to Christianity is basically true. Or it could be not a true story. Like, there was already a large portion of the population, or significant population percentage, that was Christian. I tend to believe that the myths have some basis in fact. So I think that the Christians that he was sent to minister to was basically clergymen that were already over there, not the population. But could be wrong. All right, so he did go back to Ireland at that point, and of course he was already familiar with the language and some of the customs and stuff, because he did spend 6 years not completely alone. He had some human interaction.
He was vacationing in Ireland for 6 years.
Yeah. So what was interesting was he incorporated Irish symbolism and tradition into his proselytizing. Right? So some of the ones that stand out are he used bonfires to celebrate Easter. No Easter bunny there. They had bonfires. Why? Well, the Irish were already worshiping their gods with bonfires. So he's like, okay, here's how you're going to understand this. Right? He also, interestingly and most infamously, represented the Trinity, which is the Roman Catholic conception of God as 3 in 1, with the 3-leaved clover.
Yep.
It doesn't actually match the official doctrine, which was trying to describe God, which seems silly. He was trying to represent God, and technically that's heretical to according to Roman Catholic doctrine, to represent God with a 3-leaf clover. But he seems to be more interested in representing ideas with things that the Irish already knew, as opposed to, here is the official definition, like a fucking Roman poet or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then he superimposed a sun, which was really, very powerful symbol in Irish paganism, onto the Christian cross. That's what created what we call the Celtic cross. So it's sort of like a cross with a circle around the middle, right? So the Irish understood, hey, that's a sign of deity, right? Goes along with. So that's kind of what he's famous for. Some people that care about such things don't like it. Some people love it. I don't care about it, but it's interesting. It's historically interesting. So that's pretty interesting. But the most interesting is true or false. St. Patrick was a saint.
That's true.
It's false. He was never canonized. He's not officially a saint, but he is the patron saint of Ireland, regardless. Because in Ireland, they're like, fuck you. Away there in Rome. We like the guy.
Yeah, Aaron, go fuck yourself.
Aaron, go fuck yourself. So, the real reason that he's not an official saint is back then, really the first millennium, the first 1,000 years of Christianity, they didn't have a canonization process. Right? He died before they had this let's turn people into saints thing. But he probably would have been sainted if he was born in the right time period. So
Right.
it's fair.
There's two saints I can think of at the same time. St. Patrick and then Francis Saint Denis.
Not familiar with either.
Really?
Well, I'm familiar with St. Patrick.
Oh, okay.
I am now. I just read his life story.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're nobody in the Catholic Church is like bitching about it.
Really?
I mean, like individuals are, but fuck you. You know, the actual Roman Catholic Church, they're happy to have statues and stuff of him in Ireland, and you can see some of those.
Spreads Catholicism. Shut up.
Yeah. It's good for the brand, you know.
Free marketing.
But that is St. Patrick, and St. Patrick's Day St. Patrick's Day is interesting because originally there was a feast for St. Patrick. It was traditionally celebrated on March 17th, or depending on where you were at, the Sunday that was kind of closest to it. Right?
Fantastic. And this is one of my problems too. Alec Bradley does the same shit.
Yeah, but they come off without wrecking the wrapper, so I like it.
Yeah.
Here's my thing with the band test. Well, let me finish St. Patrick's Day. Americans started that. As always, we commercialized something, and now it's let's celebrate Irish.
What's the other drinking nation? Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah. So anyway, just a little awesome celebration of Ireland. It's kind of disassociated from the religious aspect. But one of the things I like about and hate about Alec Bradley is a lot of their bands have a nice tab to pull.
You're like, oh, nice.
It's not glued down all the way. The reason I hate it is I start doing this.
Yeah.
I'm just fingering it the whole time. It's like a fidget spinner.
Yeah.
It's like a fidget spinner. You know, got this little tick.
Fidgeting with it.
Yeah. But then when you go to take it off, Alec Bradley, oh, that one came out nice. Alec Bradley often sticks to the back like yours. And you can see that long ass tail there. And you have to keep going and going and going. But it does come off and it does not harm the wrapper at all. And I found that to be fairly common with Alec Bradley cigars. Yeah. The other thing I found to be common with Alec Bradley cigars is they turn into really good cigars if you put them in your humidor for 3 to 6 months. I just think they're too fresh when they ship to the stores. All right. This is Johnny Midas and El Fumo on Burnline Podcast. Fuck me, I'm Irish. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we will have your cigar news of the week.
Sweet.
Don't go away. Now your cigar news of the week with Angel Solorio.
Conor McGregor is going to be launching his Notorious cigars. That's all it's called at the moment. So he's into a lot of endeavors, you know, liquor and a bar and I think clothing as well. But anyways, you know, he was, 2-time, 3-time UFC champ?
Something like that,
Yep. Well, anyways, he's going to be releasing it, and it's going to be a 6x54. Here, get ready to take a drink. Uses an Ecuadorian Habano 2000 Rosado Oscuro wrapper. And it has a Mexican San Andres wrapper. Look at that. So
interesting.
yeah. And
contains tobacco from Nicaragua's Jalapa Valley and San Victor and Villa Gonzales regions of the DR for the fillers.
Interesting. Okay.
So yeah, about $140 for a box of 10, which is not hateful.
No, those are Toros.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's average these days. So that's a good price point to come in at. Now, does it say where they're created? Like which factory?
Oh yeah, the MJ Frias in the DR.
What else do they make?
I'm not sure what they make.
Yeah, nothing's jumping to my mind, but all right. So we got Notorious Irish putting out a cigar. Good.
Yep. And then Asian Room will be releasing the Cuatro Nicaragua Concerto. It's going to be debuting at PCA. So this is an interesting one.
Concerto. So
Concerto, yeah,
they had
Italian, right? Concerto.
Yeah, in Italian. So they had the Sonata, and now they have the Concerto. So I sense a theme here, but I'm interested because you had the Aging Room Quattro Nicaragua, and then the Aging Room Quattro Nicaragua Sonata. Is this one Aging Room Quattro Concerto or Aging Room Quattro Nicaragua Concerto?
Nicaragua Concerto.
Okay.
So it is going to be exclusive Nicaraguan tobacco, including a hybrid Criollo 98 wrapper from SLE, and
Interesting.
filler tobaccos from the first harvest of AJ Fernandez's Los Espejos farm. So the mirrors. I don't know why they call it the mirrors.
I don't know, man. Okay, we have to have this combo next week because I mentioned that the Piloto Cubano tobacco is like the original Cuban tobacco seeds that were smuggled out and first grown in the Dominican Republic. I can't remember which cigar we smoked, but it was just a couple weeks ago, and that was the filler.
Oh, okay.
But then Criollo refers to like the original tobacco for any region. But I'm pretty sure that hybrid Criollo in Nicaragua is not Nicaraguan Criollo. It's Cuban Criollo, which how the fuck is that different from Piloto Cubano? And unless it came out later.
Yeah.
Not first wave. I don't know, so I'm going to do some research on that.
Yeah. So your average price for these is going to be $14.80 to $15.40, depending on Vitola.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it's not terrible. It's not hateful.
I was going to guess 17, so.
Yeah. Like I said, a Gordo is going to be $15.44, and then the Espressivo, a 5x50, is going to be $14.84. So it ranges. It's not terrible.
That Expressivo sounds amazing. You know, I like my small cigar.
Yeah, the perfect for you, 5x50.
Mm-hmm. In my giant frame, it looks like a fucking cigarette.
Yeah. So, Viaje. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to sneeze or not. Viaje will be re-releasing the honey and hand grenades.
Okay.
So the last.
That's what I told you. Viajo is always like limited runs.
Yeah.
Like, everything is a limited with them, and then they just stop and move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
But sometimes they bring it back. Yeah. I like Viajos though. Most of them that I've had, I've really enjoyed.
So they were first released in 2012, stopped in 2019, like you said, and now they're back. So apparently they're still going to be the same blend. You know, it's been a while, but they're going to be in 5 1/4 by 52 and 6 1/4 by 50 and 6 1/2 by 44. So a couple different blends. Or Vitolas, my apologies. The blends are going to be. So they're just going to be Nicaraguan puros. That's all. Criollo wrapper. So all straight Nicaragua. I've never had this. Did you have those?
I think I did. But it's hard to say, man. I've had so many. Yeah, I've had so many cigars
I
over
don't
the
remember
years.
that one. Definitely did not come across that one.
Yeah.
All right. So CRA and PCA said, enough of this shit. FDA just dropped the fucking lawsuit. Let premium cigars alone. So they made a motion for that.
Motion to dismiss?
Yeah, just shut the fuck up.
Yeah, it's about time.
All right. That's about it. Hopefully that's going to go well. Maybe it might. I don't know. I'm not sure what the climate is with this current administration and that.
I think they're too busy fighting aliens in New Jersey to worry about cigars right now, but who knows?
Yeah. All right. And then Asylum, April Fool's 2025 Year of the Snake is going to be shipping next week. So
Why is everyone doing Year of the Snake? Is it just to protect against lawsuits for the Year of the Dragon stuff they did?
No, it's Year of the Snake now.
Oh my god. No, but I'm just saying, like, I don't remember all these Chinese Zodiac bullshit things before. And after the Gurkha lawsuit, I'm just wondering if people that came out with Year of the Snake stuff are now coming out with, or Year of the Dragon stuff, are now coming out with Year of the Snake, so they can say, no, this is just a thing we always did, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, it makes sense for Punch, because they've always done, like,
but
Chinese Zodiac
stuff. Dude, I'm going to be getting this sick. It's a 9x90 Honduran Puro. That is a fucking massive stick.
That's like this bottle.
Yeah, dude.
This is a 9x90.
Yeah, Asylum just does not give a fuck.
Yeah, so, they're pretty fucking insane.
So about $45 a piece. I'm gonna have to. It's my thing.
Mow some lawns, dude. Like you gotta get that one.
Yeah, but like that's my thing. The Gordos. But that's all I got for now.
Let's go ahead and touch up. We've both been talking a little bit, and then smoke a little bit to, get that new light taste out.
My Candela was having issues burning. That's why it looks like that.
Yeah, that's fairly normal. Candela doesn't burn great.
Good, though.
Yeah, it started out beautiful, but you can see, it's just typical, Alec Bradley, or even any cigar manufacturer if you don't pay attention to it enough. But I remember growing up, my dad went to Ireland on a business trip, and he came back and he bought a shillelagh, and like he was just all in Irish heritage. And then
I'm Irish now.
Yeah, and then I grew up and I'm like, his mother her maiden name is Scott. We have a tartan, like we're Scottish. I'm a quarter like full-blooded Scottish, but he does have Scots-Irish. Those were the Scots that were banished to Ireland, like imprisoned there. Something about that tumultuous. I mean, how can two fucking islands have like such a complex, convoluted history and then go on to basically conquer the world? It's just fucking bizarre. But
yeah.
In any case, so we had a lot of Irish stuff and drinking tea instead of coffee.
Nope.
I'm like, hey, more power to you, but my idea of a good time is like a 454 Casull revolver, a couple black coffee in a tin mug, like in Wyoming, with like boots and vest, But that's just me, What's really interesting though is, my dad's not very tall. He was probably 5'11" on his best day, and my mom is like, I don't know, 5'2", 5'4" maybe. She's like all hunched over now because she's old, but. Every one of Dad's sons were all over 6 feet. I don't think I'm the tallest.
Is Joe bigger?
No, Joe's about the same height, but the bones to his shoulders are a good, legit 3 inches wider.
Yeah.
He is a fucking barrel. He is a 6'2" barrel. And, of course, he's the one that went airborne. It's like...
what else am I going to do with these shoulders?
So here's what's hilarious is, like, he has to be very careful about his weight because he's airborne and the parachutes are only rated to a certain weight. And once he puts on his, belt-fed gun and all of his gear, he's right there, so he's got to be real careful about his weight. So he doesn't do a lot of, like, weightlifting.
Damn, that must be a bummer.
And he is fucking strong as shit, So, the log that they pick up
on
your shoulder? So he had a new classic recruit. This is when he was 101st Airborne, and he was down there. What's the fort that's in Georgia?
Fort Benning. Oh, Georgia? Yeah, it is Benning.
Yeah, Fort Benning. So he's a drilly down there, which, is kind of a feather in his career cap, but he had these bitches come in struggling with the log. So he picked the log up himself and ran around the barracks building. And then he threw the log down, and he's like, pick up that fucking log and run with it. And they're like, shit. It's all in your head, It's not all in your head, but it's a good bit in your head.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, it's time to rank this cigar. And as always, we rank cigars on the basis of 5 vectors on a scale of 1 to 10. And we do that to set ourselves apart from everybody else does like this, 0 to 100, and the first 80 numbers don't get used.
Yeah, I don't like that.
And between 80 and 90 barely get used. And you don't know why they're ranking it the way they're ranking it. And there's a place for that, but we're different, right? Because we are a consumer podcast. So we're here serving you, giving you our insights. Your palate might be different, your preferences. That's good for you. We're just telling you our experience.
We're like Global Jim.
Yeah.
We're better than you, and we know.
Yeah. No, but that's why we do it the way that we do it. So you can break it down and listen to, oh, they like this, but not that. I don't care about that.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm going to try it or whatever. So let's start with presentation. Of course, we don't have the box here, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
But
It's the same.
I think it's, it is. I think it's great.
Yeah.
Like
Great?
It goes with Filthy Hooligan, with the name and the brand. It's not pretentious. This is a fucking affordable cigar and all of that. I mean, I would give them an 8. I think their graphic design department.
Yeah, it reminds me of Ellis Island.
Yeah, I just think they did a great job. It's not trying to be something it's not, but it still gets the point across. And then with construction, we usually start with 10 and count backwards. We had some issues. I don't know if you can catch that on camera, but, it's kind of, I call that a shovel. It's kind of shoveled.
It's the candela.
It's some issue with the candela burning. That's not really their fault, but they did put it on there. But it lit up great, had a good burn line, which wouldn't have really fucked up if we weren't talking so much.
Right.
No issues with draw, which, by the way, great draw.
Yeah. It is lighter than the Filthy Hooligan, though, I can tell you that.
It is. And then we had some issues where the wrapper wasn't stuck, but it didn't affect the smoke. So, I mean, honestly, I got to give it a 9. I think the construction.
Yeah, I agree. 9.
All right, price at in Maryland, knocking on $11.
It's not terrible.
No, I think for the tobacco you're getting, it's better than average.
And it's limited.
It's not awesome though. We haven't got the flavor and experience yet. It's not bad, so it's above 5.
Yeah.
I think I would peg the price at like a 7.
I agree, 7.
I think I'd do a 7. All right, let's talk about flavor. So we still didn't, at the beginning, we kind of ditched the body thing because nobody knows what that fucking means. We just do strength and flavor, and you take it from there.
Yeah. Somebody's yelling across the computer. No, body means... No, nobody cares. Shit.
No, it doesn't. So it's really flavor and strength.
Yeah.
Is what composes body anyway. So we just go with that. And we gave it a strength of 3. I have not changed my mind.
No.
And
3.
it hasn't changed in strength.
Nope.
I don't think it's changed in flavor.
Not even getting a nicotine buzz.
No, absolutely not. It's just a good flavor. So it hasn't changed.
Nope.
Has yours changed?
No, actually, it's been. That's what I said. Simple, barely mid. It's not a hateful single note, but it hasn't changed.
Yeah, I would say simple mid. There's a few flavors in there. No changes. It's really just what we described right at the beginning. And I think it's mellow and approachable, and a lot of people can enjoy it.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think anyone's going to really savor it, and it's definitely not a, this is interesting stick. So, I don't know. I was thinking like a 4.
Yeah, I agree. 4.
4.
It doesn't taste like Shamrock, so I'm a little upset.
I taste notes of Shamrock on the back of the soft palate.
Shamrock's not a flavor, but it doesn't actually have a real flavor. But if you say Shamrock, everybody has that image. Oh, this is what Shamrock tastes like.
I think that for me, Shamrock would taste like sprinkling a finishing salt, like pink Himalayan salt, on the back of a bullfrog and then licking it.
Yeah.
That's my.
Oh, for me, it's like Irish cream and then whatever the fake chemical.
Oh, you mean whatever the brainwashing marketing experts?
Yeah. And then McDonald's
put a Shamrock on
shake.
so that you'll drink it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Lucky Charms.
All right, so let's talk about experience. One of the things I like about this is it is easy to feel like an Irish street hooligan smoking this. So I think they kind of nailed that. I think anything like high end is just out with this cigar. So, you know, if you're hanging out with your executive bros, this ain't the thing to smoke probably. You know, you're not doing golf with it maybe just because if you wreck it, you don't care, but you're not showing it to your buddies. You're not using it as a gift.
You can smoke it at the pub if the pub allows you.
Yeah, a lot of the back patios around here, if they don't allow it, they have nights where they do. Something like that.
Pro tip, go to Gary Owens because they do allow it in the back patio. By the way, Gary Owens is an Irish pub in Gettysburg.
Oh, also, O'Lourdon's and Covalent Spirits have nights where you can smoke. I mean, you can smoke out there anytime, but there's dedicated nights.
Correct, yeah.
It's like, this is cigar
Sipping
night.
smokes.
Yeah. And I think they're, once a month during the summer.
Yeah.
It's a little cold to smoke outside or do anything outside where we're at. So I have a 5 for experience. Like, the top end is limited, but everything else is open. At $10, you might not want to do some stuff, but it's an enjoyable, simple enough flavor, and it's light enough. You can mow the lawn with it. You can walk the dog with it. You can go fishing. Yeah, you might be a little upset if you drop it, you know, while you're mowing the grass, but it's $10, dude, you know. This ain't a fucking $15, $20 stick.
Yeah.
So what do you think, 5?
5, I'm down with that.
Yeah, I agree. And that brings the final score for this Alec Bradley Filthy Hooligan 2025 to 33. Shamrock Filthy Hooligan. Shamrock Filthy Hooligan.
Yeah.
To 33, which is pretty good. But I will say this. I don't think that these are cheap enough for a daily smoke for me.
No.
This is where they really whiff, and I would be willing to take points off just for this. I can get a box of Chateau Fuentes, a little bit less tobacco, Robustos, but I can get it for $7 a stick, and it's a better cigar. I can get the natural, and I'll kind of get this with a little richer cinnamony flavor and stuff, or I can get the sun-grown and get a stronger cigar than this, right? So, or I can get the Maduro and get a, you know, sweet, chocolatey, coffee flavor. I can do all of those things for $7 a stick, even though the stick's a little smaller.
Yep.
Why would I daily this? Now, it's limited edition. You know, you can't daily it anyway, but, you know, that's where I really take points off. Having said that, I might just get a box of these. They're not that expensive.
Yeah.
But this, I can just smoke this doing whatever and not give a shit, and it's not going to surprise me or, you know, overpower me all of a sudden. So I really like it. I think that they just missed the price point for this rating in the upper 30s, to be honest with you. So there you go. I think experience and price would go up if the price were down.
Yeah.
Because experience is always relative, you know, to the price. So that is all we've got for you on Burnline Podcast this week. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you again next week.